Hi guys, welcome back to another video. So if you've been following us on our socials, mainly Instagram though, you would know by now that we are expecting a baby. Exciting times, exciting times. But yeah, so today we decided to just talk about what we've been doing on a financial level to get ready for the baby, because we have to get ready in so many different ways. That you have to get your house ready, you get the baby's room ready, you get all these other things ready. But we are skilled financiers after all, so there's no way we were going to miss an opportunity to share what we've been doing on a financial level to get ready for this little one. So talk to the people. What have we been doing?
So we've been having some really interesting financial discussions in our home, as you can imagine. So obviously, one of the first things that we do, and this probably doesn't come as a surprise to you, is that we became quite intentional or very intentional and purposeful about our budget and our finances.
Oh yeah.
So with this, what this means, you've probably heard this being said, things like cutting costs or trimming down your expenses. And essentially that's what you're doing, but I disagree with that approach. The approach I like to think of it as is I'm being intentional with my money.
Yeah.
That way, when I'm then looking at everything in the budget, I'm saying it has a purpose and an intention, and I want it there, or we want it there for our budget. Ever since we found out about having this baby, we definitely have had discussions of like, okay, do we really need this outgoing? Should we be paying this much towards this, or should we look at a cheaper alternative? And these kind of conversations have helped us to be even more intentional. Now, we were already pretty good with our budget, to be fair, but I think just the thought of knowing that, okay, it's not just like the fact that we're getting pregnant, the baby's coming. It's also the fact that we're thinking ahead about like maternity leave as well and things like that. That we're just like, okay, there's a lot of changes coming, even from a financial perspective. That we just need to ensure that we're being very, very intentional with our finances. And I think that's the first thing that we did.
Yeah, I've also seen it with a lot of parents actually, like our friends that are parents. Some of them have been very, very intentional when it comes to having their children. So they'll tell you that actually we used to just spend money frivolously or just do certain things like, oh, there's a barbecue this weekend, let's go. There's a party this weekend, let's go. There's this and that this weekend, let's go. Like they would go to everything. But that minute that test came back saying pregnant, they were very much like, like we need to like reevaluate what we're spending money on. And like he was saying, that word intentional, they became very intentional and very strategic with their budgets. And I think that's what we've done as well, where we're like, oh, we have to really think about some of those things. Even like when people ask you for money, or when people are just like, oh, can I have money for this? Or can I have money for that? Or there's something going on and you just want to support because you're the type of person that just loves to give and support. We're now having to be very strategic and be like, yeah, no, the Bank of Tando and Linda isn't as open as it used to be. Yes, we'll still give. Yes, we'll still support causes that we believe in. But like you said, we're being strategic because now there's a baby in the mix. If anything, our child is now more of a priority than a lot of other things that we would normally prioritize or do. So that was definitely one of the things that we were like, yeah, we need to be very strategic now.
The second thing that I'd say we started to do as well was to, talk about intentionality, was to prioritize our savings, particularly with boosting our emergency fund and other things like that. So we kind of had a 3-month emergency fund initially, and that was quite comfortable for the both of us because, we kind of knew that, it wouldn't take us 3 months really to find a new job if we needed to. But equally speaking, if we really needed to like cut costs, we could, if it's just the two of us. But like when we know now that the baby is coming, we're just like, actually 3 months doesn't feel like it's enough anymore. So we ramped that up to 6 months. And so that's kind of our new limit now, or our new minimum. And not only just the emergency fund, even other savings that we started to do. It just kind of gave us even more intentionality or purpose or a drive to ensure that from a financial cash perspective, we've got that cash flow in place and we've got the savings in place that should we need something, we've got them in place. And I'd say that was a big shift. And I didn't actually see this one coming. I thought that 3 months would be fine, but I was surprised that actually we looked at it and we thought, yeah, this is not enough actually.
Yeah. But I think it's also to do with planning ahead and thinking ahead, because we've known for a long time that, the time is coming when we'll have a baby. We've been talking about it for a while. So it wasn't just, it's just happened and stuff like that.
Yeah.
We were planning for a while. We even had a baby fund from a while back, like little things like this where you start to think ahead, like, okay, we might not be pregnant yet, but what can we be doing right now to get ready for when the time comes and stuff. So I definitely say there's a lot of people who plan when they'll have their children. If you're those type of people, start thinking that, okay, what can we be doing right now? Planning ahead will always be to your benefit at the end of the day anyway. And I think even with certain bills and stuff, we started paying them like annually, or we started paying more into the bills. That way it reduces them as time goes by. You're not having to pay as much. So those are some of the other things that we started to do. But we're being very intentional about our savings and being very intentional about the extra money that we're now putting aside for the baby and for this period that we're currently going through.
Yeah. So another thing that we did, and this might come as a bit of an interesting one, is that we had a baby shower. Now, obviously, we didn't have the baby shower because of money, but there was a financial benefit that came off of it. And by that, I mean, baby shower is obviously a time of celebration with family to say, hey, we're expecting a baby in the family, and everyone kind of comes together to not only celebrate and have food with you, but one of the big things is that they bring gifts. Gifts for the baby, of course.
Yeah.
And we're talking, pretty good gifts. So, we had almost everything that we needed for the baby was bought for as a gift for us.
Yeah.
Or to us. So, I'm thinking about things like the
travel
system, the cot bed, furnishings for the baby's room, things like that, things that we would have had to think about and pay for ourselves. They gifted us. Now, of course, we are the parents, so we kind of already knew that it will be our responsibility. But having that financial support system in the family is actually a pretty good thing to have. And if you have got something like that, then that in and of itself just becomes a financial benefit, because then that's something that you don't have to pay for out of your own pocket, because people are willing to support you and also to give to you the things that you need for your baby.
Yeah, absolutely. I think one of the things like nowadays that I'm starting to realize, some of the things that put people off having things like baby showers is how expensive they can be. Like if you're planning a baby shower and you're planning to have loads of people, the costs really do add up. And we got to that point where we're looking and we're like, yo, these costs are actually adding up. Because initially we had planned to actually just have a bigger baby shower, hire a venue, get catering and things like that. But then that would have meant adding a lot more things, which was very costly, because when we looked at food, for just, you're looking at like 60 people and you're paying almost $1,000 for 60 people just for food alone. That was already too much for us. And we're like, yeah, when we're thinking about it, like thinking about priorities and stuff, we're like, yeah, we could pay for this, but is it even worth it? Like, is it worth doing that? So what we actually decided to do was like, just let our parents know, like, yeah, no, we're not going to do this whole big baby shower thing. On a level of priorities, it's not really a priority. So our parents were like, you know what? If you do it at your house, we'll chip in, we'll pay for stuff, and we'll work together, because we really want you guys to have the baby shower. So we agreed to that, and we had it at our house. So what I'm trying to say is, if you're planning to have the baby shower or you're thinking about it, you don't have to have it in like a really big venue where you're now having to cater for so many things. But if you've got a house that can accommodate people, or maybe even your family or friends have gardens that are big enough, which is what we used our garden as well. Use the garden, use the space that you have at home. It's actually one thing off your list that you have to pay for, and you just have to focus on the smaller things. I think I really appreciated our baby shower more because of that, because it became something that was intimate with like close family and close friends. And we never had to spend too much on it, because our family were really like, no, we want this for you guys. We're willing to chip in and we're going to make it happen. So don't be put off by the whole, it's so expensive. It's expensive to hire a venue. It's expensive to have decor. It's expensive to do this, that, and the other. Speak to your family and friends and still have that. And their support has meant a lot. So I guess the final thing for me is that one of the things that we had to be really open to is even accepting secondhand items or getting stuff off Facebook Marketplace. Now, a lot of our friends were like, listen, do not sleep on the likes of Facebook Marketplace, because people are buying stuff and only using it for their children for like maybe 3 months or like a month. Some of the stuff is actually brand new and it's not even been used. So a lot of our friends actually did tell us from the get-go, like, there's nothing wrong with just going on there, just having a look around, just shopping from there as well. And it's definitely something that we've utilized and had a look at, and we're like, oh wow, like, I could have gone and bought something for like hundreds of pounds, but now I'm on Facebook Marketplace and it's a lot cheaper. So if you're thinking from a financial perspective, how can we save money, or how can we try avoiding to spend too much? Facebook Marketplace is one of the places you can actually look at.
So ultimately, as you can probably tell from the discussions, we've had conversations around our budget, our savings, our spending, and just ensuring as well that, we don't go over the rails. Yes, we're having a baby. It's an exciting time, but let's not kind of make our spending, should I say, go out of control in our excitement. So ensuring that our emotions are still in check when it comes to our finances, and just making sure that we're still walking in that sort of level-headed ground of being intentional and purposeful with our money. Now, what we'd love to know is, if you're going through a similar journey, have been through this journey, what kind of things have you been doing? What kind of things would you also recommend other people do, or even pass on to us as tips for us to kind of put into play as well with our financial situation now that we're having a baby? We're excited for it. We can't wait for it. But equally speaking, we thought we'd encourage other people who are also going through a similar journey. So comment down below what your thought process is on that. It's been a pleasure talking to you today, and we can't wait to speak to you very soon.